All right, you guys, it is game day. Welcome to the vlog. Half marathon time, it's about to go down. Coach Jason is here. My lovely wife is right there. 14 weeks, consistent training, 4 days per week, and it's go time. We're parked, which was realistically one of the things that I was most anxious about. We've got about 6 coaches running inside of this, and because of that, they gave us a booth at the half marathon, which means we're gonna have a Virtuous fitness booth. We're gonna be handing out cards, cinch bags, and information about the gym while all the coaches are getting after it. So we are here. We've got our media guy, Keegan, who's gonna be here today. He's gonna be videoing all of the coaches who are running and getting good footage of us, and should be a good time. So we're gonna go check in. What you guys have noticed?
I need good running.
They set the PR bell next to the Virtuous fitness tent because they already know what's about to go down. Yesterday I felt like literally yesterday when I ran, it was kind of weird because like in the past with CrossFit competitions and stuff like that, I never really felt tapered. So like feeling tapered right now and like wanting to take off and like crush my paces and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to like pull back on a taper run, but that's good. I mean, everything went well. Carb loaded, feeling pretty good. I'm gonna have this here, and then about an hour out, I'm gonna start having my like my carb shake. There you go. All right, post half marathon recap. We are about 2 weeks removed from running the half marathon. We managed to hit our goal. I believe it might have been probably at like the first or second vlog that I did. I laid down the gauntlet that I was gonna run a 1:45 half marathon. As I kind of went through the entire process, there were a ton of things that kind of happened. I had some achy knees. I had a little bit of an ankle issue for a period of time. I went through a period of time where I was getting just repetitive blisters on my big and my pinky toe. There was just a number of things that really started to make me worried that that actually wasn't going to happen. As we went through the 2-week taper into the actual half marathon, I started to realize that that was in fact something that I think that was in the cards for me, that was gonna be a possibility for me. So just to kind of walk you through what I experienced as I went through that. Fantastic taper, ended up carb loading right before. Everything went right from the breakfast I had that morning, all of my fueling, just everything was dialed in, and I was ready to go at the beginning of that half marathon. So what we realized at this half is it was a double out and back. So you actually went out about 7.5 miles, then you turned around and came back to another turnaround, and then you went back out until you had the final turnaround point, and then you finished with the final 3 miles. Race started, everything felt amazing. I was running about a 7 to a 7:30 minute per mile pace from the very beginning all the way up until about mile 10. But I was really pushing that day, everything was on, felt good. And then at the final turnaround heading back, I started to feel this cramp start to creep in on both sides of my ribs. It is something I'd never experienced during the entire prep period for this half marathon. So going into that final piece, at about mile 12, and trust me guys, you wouldn't believe it if I told you, but I tried everything I could to keep running, because I probably would have came in the 1:30s. But at about mile 12, that cramp pulled, and I was basically walking for about 3 or 4 minutes. I couldn't stand up all the way because the cramp was like pulling and contracting my core. I had to walk hunched over to keep moving. And I was taking, I had another gel in my pocket. I took a gel. I stopped at a watering station, just trying to do something to get this thing to let loose. And at about a little after, I was probably, 12.4 into that mile 12, it finally let loose and I was able to pick up and finish running again. A lot of things are going through my head. There was a lot of fears around, was I actually going to finish in the time domain? Because up until that point, everything was just going exactly as planned, but there was a lot of fear coming in. I knew that my watch and the actual course were not in sync. I thought it was possible, but I kicked it back up, and then coming up to the finish line, I could see the clock and see that it had just rolled over an hour and 44 minutes. And if I really booked it, I could get there under that 1:45 time cap. So I booked it, came across the finish line with 1:44.27, and I was just over the moon excited. If we really look back at the beginning of this prep, I had no experience running any sort of distance. All of my past like endurance or cardio endeavors were all very low mileage, just things that I did to either cut weight when I fought MMA or to just get some running in when I did the competitive CrossFitting for a lot of years. But I'd never done any sort of mileage like this, and this was a huge feat for me. If I look back years ago to what even led me to fitness in the first place, I had signed up for a half marathon, and I smoked a cigarette on the way there, and that half marathon took me 2 hours and 51 minutes to finish. And then, fast forward 10 years and a lot of fitness later, to really come in and to hit a goal that I set out was just amazing. It was the first time in a long time that I had done something physically that I could truly hang my hat on and feel proud with. And if you guys follow me along during that vlog period, if you follow me on social media, I try to share a bunch of it because I think I get a lot of value from going to vlogs. I get a lot of value from watching videos just like this. And if one person can watch this and be inspired and to go do something that I was able to do, and I could just take a small part in getting you to take that step and to take that chance, then this video was worth it. I'm looking at a full marathon in April. That is gonna be down in Bend, Oregon. I'll put out whatever that is once I get that final sign up. All that we're waiting on is to see if that's gonna fall and kind of clash with some of my son's travel baseball. And if it does not, that is gonna happen. That'll be my first full marathon. And then I'll run another one next October. I'm looking at the Marine Corps full marathon. I'd like to do that as well. And then the following year, I'm gonna start to mingle in and dabble in a little bit of ultra marathoning. I'm gonna run the full gambit, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me and probably show you exactly what I'm doing for training, nutrition, all of the above. I'm just gonna share it with you guys, and hopefully I can inspire somebody and motivate somebody to run their first race, or to even just take a step in their fitness. So thank you guys for taking part and following along through this vlog. This is gonna be the one, this is, you know, just the beginning of what will be many vlogs, and I'm gonna just share my life and things that I'm going through and experiencing. And thank you for coming along with me. If you haven't already, do make sure that you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like if it was something that you found valuable. But thanks for following along. I will see you guys on the next video.